Tonight we are having a sleepover as we join the Sleepover Club, the Australian kids show that was based on the books of the same name. It aired for 2 seasons from 2003 to 2008. The 5 main kids from season 1 are called Frankie, Fliss, Kenny, Lindsay, and Rosie. The club tries to deal with everyday problems. So now that we know the background, let's take a look at a few adventures. First up we have Perfect Match. So we get a voiceover at the beach as Frankie introduces us to the Sleepover Club. At home Frankie gets in trouble as she explains parents always use their kid's full name when they is in trouble. She says she doesn't like the name Francesca. She said she wasn't to blame, it was the whole club as she says trouble always turns up at her door. So we get her mom shouting at her saying not to leave the house as Frankie then sneaks out the window as she grabs her bike as she says she has a very important letter to deliver. She then gives a flashback as she explains it was some muck-up day or something. So she picks the best clothes to show off to the boys as Frankie starts to explain the other girls' routine. She says Kenny loves Man United, so it was easy for her to pick her clothes. She then explains that Fliss likes to get up early as she needs a lot of time to get ready. She says Fliss is very beautiful. Lindsay woke up to a pimple as she is shocked. Lindsay tries to get it off as she puts a bag over her head. The girls take it off as they can't believe it. So the girls are walking to school as they meet a new girl from England, called Rosie. They can't believe her appearance as at school the boys are wolf whistling Rosie as the girls arrive. They are discussing whether to ask her to join the club. Frankie says not everyone can join as Kenny does something strange with her tongue. Frankie says Rosie is too rosy as in class the teacher is giving their papers back. Rosie gets the top grade as Frankie is shocked by the competition. So we then get introduced to the 3 boys. Matthew, Macro, and Michael. Frankie says the boys are only here on Earth to cause trouble. One comes over to say they bore everyone, that's why they are called the Sleepover Club. They talk about the pimple as one throws the ball as Rosie then brings the ball back. The boys are stunned as the girls say Rosie is flirting with the boys. Frankie says it is obvious as Kenny says she is jealous. So at swimming club Rosie gets pushed into the water as she can't swim. Kenny goes in and saves her. The boys laugh as the teacher wants to tell them off, but Rosie has taken their clothes. So they come out naked, it's pretty funny. Rosie then gets in trouble as all the girls get told off as well. So in detention everyone has to clean the desks as the teacher catches Frankie messing around. They continue cleaning the desks as they then overhear the teacher breaking up with her boyfriend. So the girls are discussing her as they want to cheer her up. They tell Rosie where to hang as Frankie is disappointed with the other girls' choice to add Rosie to the group. They vote to let her in as Frankie is the only one who doesn't like Rosie. So at home Mom has brought some food to Frankie as she is doing her homework. She then talks about Rosie as she says it was perfect with just the 4 of them. Mom asks why it is perfect with just the 4 of them as she tells Frankie to give Rosie a chance. So back at school, the girls are coming up with a plan to find a boyfriend for the teacher. They talk to the swimming teacher as they ask him what he wants in a girl as he likes Venus Williams. There is then a shot of the teacher being rubbish at tennis. The girls then head to the cafe as the boys watch them. They suggest putting the 2 teachers in a cupboard as we then get a corny scene. Frankie then says it could backfire as we get another scene. They suggest to make her to ask him out on a date. So at Frankie's house, they are thinking about some poetry as we then get another scene of the teachers together. So at school they post the letter in the pigeonhole as the boys keep watching. At the supermarket the girls are waiting for the teachers as they finally arrive. The swimming teacher is confused as the girls are trying to get them together. The girls spot the boys as the teachers finally meet. The girls watch on as the boys push them over. They get covered in flour as the boys escape the store. So the teacher comes over and tells them off as the swimming teacher shows of the letter as he knows Frankie wrote it. She then confesses the plan as the teachers are shocked. She is so annoyed as she tells the girls to leave. Frankie leaves her purse behind as the teacher returns it. They confront the boys as the girls get him back. So Frankie's mother tells her to go to bed as we are back to the start. Frankie explains the letter is an invite to the sleepover club as she heads off to post it. The episode ends. Next up we got Scary Movie. So we get Lindsay as she wakes up like a vampire as she says she loved the cheesy scary stuff as we then see at school that the boys have spring-trapped a locker as they scare the girls. Lindsay says Fliss has been the target of pranks for years. So Rosie learns that the sleepover club has rules as Frankie and Kenny are telling her them. Rosie says it is very much like school as the other two say it's fun. Rosie runs off as Frankie and Kenny argue as Frankie says everything was perfect until Rosie arrived. Kenny says to give her a chance. Frankie demands that Rosie learn the rules and join in, otherwise she will be kicked out. Kenny is stunned. So at Lindsay's house, she is talking to Michael about her birthday as she wants her friends over. Michael says he has already invited his friends over as Lindsay can't believe it as she then sets out the rules. They play a game of chess for some reason as Lindsay lays the rules out. Michael gives out his rules as at school, the girls are playing netball. Frankie says Rosie and Kenny have really bonded as Frankie gives Lindsay a package. Kenny comes over and asks what is going down at the party as Lindsay explains everything. She says she is getting a scary movie as Fliss then suggests a fashion show, but Lindsay shuts down that idea. The girls are shocked that Michael is inviting his friends over as the twins are still trying to discuss what they should get for their birthday. So Dad flips a coin as Lindsay wins inside the house. So Kenny picks the movie as Fliss wants something else because she is scared. They pick the movie as the boys are following the girls again. The cashier tells the boys they got a vampire movie as they come up with a plan. Fliss then gives us a scene as she is scared of vampires. Rosie then asks what is wrong as Fliss explains. Rosie says everyone is scared of something as she says she is scared of the sleepover. The boys are walking back from surfing as they are talking about the girls again and how they get in the way. They ask what the plan is as they say it will be the best birthday ever. So the girls get a call from Fliss as she says change the movie to horses as Frankie puts the phone down. She asks if Rosie told Fliss to change the movie. Lindsay can't believe Frankie. So Frankie asks if Rosie is fearless enough to join the club. Fliss tells Rosie what to bring as she then says she isn't going. Rosie is shocked as she then says her mom died. Fliss makes sure she is okay as she wants Fliss to come tonight. So Kenny and Frankie are arguing about Rosie once more as Kenny says Frankie needs to trust Rosie. So we see some strange scene that seems to be a parody of Survivor as at the house, everyone arrives to celebrate the twins' birthday. The boys head outside as the girls come in. Lindsay says everything will be okay as they give Lindsay her presents. As Fliss asks what the boys are up to, Rosie wants to join in as the boys are playing with water guns. The girls watch on as Rosie meets a boy playing a guitar as they just walk as Rosie likes him. Kenny tells Rosie about Tom as Frankie calls Lindsay out as she is dressed as a bunny for some reason. Lindsay is not happy as Rosie is confused. The boys bust in as they take a picture of the bunny. They chase after him as they then get wet. So Lindsay looks through the presents as they get ready for the movie. They watch the movie as Frankie heads downstairs to find a cushion. She takes everyone out apart from Rosie as she watches her to make sure she isn't a crybaby. Rosie knows what is going down as Fliss doesn't want to watch the film. She puts an eye mask on as the boys share a present. So the girls are watching the movie as Frankie finally figures out Fliss is the scared one as Kenny tells her to watch the movie. So the boys are trying to climb up a ladder as the girls get scared from the movie. They then see a scary face outside the window as the boys pull the pipe down and fall down. The girls laugh as they watch the boys get washed off. The girls tell Rosie she has officially joined the sleepover club. They give her a letter as she opens it. It's a membership card as they all hug. The boys sit out in the rain as the girls want a story. Frankie tells one as she scares everyone. So Lindsay says Michael smells as she says there will be payback. They argue like siblings do, but they make up as Lindsay says she had a great birthday. The episode ends. Finally we have Beach Hut. So Frankie is telling a story about stars and how she can't sleep without counting them. She says she is very excited as she then tells the story. So at school, Frankie explains the Year 7s have to sit outside as she has had enough as she stands up and protests. She starts a petition as Fliss looks at a hot boy playing basketball. She heads over there as Rosie says she will do it later as Rosie has joined the newspaper team. Frankie says to use the paper to their advantage as Rosie says no as she wants a story with depth as the girls take the mickey of her. So Frankie says she got 100 signatures at lunchtime as at the cafe Frankie says the teacher will have a decision by next week as she orders the smoothies. She talks to the owner as he says if she is still helping with the recycling as she says she will. The owner then says he wants to retire as Frankie is shocked. The owner says he feels invisible as Frankie comes up with a plan to save the beach hut as the girls throw out ideas as they are eating pizza. Rosie says that she is going to report on the cafe and the owner as the rest of the girls come up with banners to save the beach hut. Rosie types away as everyone is tired. So there is this loud noise in Lindsay's room as it is Tom and his band. Lindsay bursts in as Tom's friends leave in anger. Lindsay says Tom's music is great as the girls are trying to save the cafe. Fliss puts the banner on as they all laugh at her. So they go around trying their best to save the cafe as the boys then interrupt them. They mock the girls as the girls are walking on the beach as Fliss spots that hot boy again. Fliss thinks he waved at her as he was waving to someone else. The boys laugh at them as they come up with a plan. They print some banners out as the girls dream up a celebration of saving the cafe. However, there is a big protest as the owner is angry as someone has given out flyers saying there are free smoothies. The girls tries to explain as the owner says he is retiring. The owner says no more help as Tom's friends are breaking up the band. So Frankie tries to talk to the cafe owner once more as she says he is important. The owner announces the closure of the cafe as Kenny gives up on helping him. Fliss says she hates sandwiches as she was embarrassed in front of the hot boy. Tom comes over as Lindsay is shocked at the band breaking up. Rosie goes over to Tom as she says he is a great musician. Rosie tells him not to give up as Rosie says to get the band to play at the cafe. The only problem is the band has broken up. Frankie says the owner won't agree to it as Rosie says not to tell him. Rosie talks to Tom again at school to convince him to play at the cafe. Tom says he doesn't have a name as Rosie suggests the hut. Lindsay says he is chicken as Tom disagrees. Tom says he will think about the gig as the girls are discussing more and more about the gig. They come up with everything they need as they dream up being huge business people. So they print out to-do lists as they say it can't all be done. Frankie says it can be done as she asks the boys for help. The boys say no as Frankie knows it was the boys who handed out the vouchers earlier. The boys agree as they get the stage ready. The band arrive as Frankie gives a pretend speech. They then say Tom hasn't turned up as Tom is sitting on the beach. Rosie finds him as he says he can't do it. Rosie says she can as everyone has turned up to see the show. Frankie starts the show as she thanks the owner. Tom agrees to do the show as Rosie says she is only doing it to report on it. The band performs as Fliss spots the hot boy again. The owner is so happy as he thanks Frankie. He says he won't retire as back at school Frankie says the petition didn't work as the episode ends. Overall, the Sleepover Club was a great show for teenage girls. The characters are likable, the episodes are silly and it is a great teen drama and it is a very good show. I like it. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.